Hi, and thanks for joining Scruffy Politics. Stimpy over here in Detroit, Steve over in the west suburbs of Chicago. And we're going to start off talking about the two topics that are on everybody's mind right now. It seems like it's the tariffs and it's this whole Ukraine situation. So I will just start off by giving my 2 cents on that whole blow up that they had in the Oval Office. And it might surprise you, Steve, but I, even though I am a Trump supporter, I disagreed with how they handled that. I thought that Trump did not handle it well. I think Vance did not handle it well. And I just think that they should have not had an argument in front of the media. And the justification that I would use is, you know, if you're having brain surgery, you don't want to be wheeled in for brain surgery having the two surgeons argue about what the right approach is, right? Most people are not into politics. They're off-put by it. And they definitely do not want to see people fighting. You know, Trump made it sound like, oh, this is good. The American people get to see, you know, transparency and freedom of speech. But no, most people, they just want to know that we're professionally taking care of the situation. And it doesn't look good when they're arguing like kids, you know? So... I don't know what your take is on what happened there.
I think what happened Friday at the White House was more of a show. I think it was planned. I think J.D. Vance knew he was going to say that. Trump told him to. And then the stupid reporter asking, well, aren't you supposed to wear a tie to no?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was that was dumb. That didn't really add much.
Attack. It was planned. It was sickening. Trump found it entertaining. J.D. Vance has no backbone. Marco Rubio looked like he wanted to really disappear. He looked uncomfortable.
I mean, honestly, Marco Rubio was the best suited to deal with that, but it should have been a closed door negotiation. I think the whole reason that went wrong was because, you know, Trump was basically saying, look, we just need to sign this mineral deal and then we're going to sign a ceasefire. And Zelensky was trying to say, yeah, but you haven't given me any assurances for a security guarantee. So he was like, I'm not just going to sign all this stuff. And he's like, and he was also trying to make the point, which I think is valid, that, hey, Putin doesn't care if we sign a ceasefire. He'll break it the next day. Yeah. He doesn't care.
It's just like
it doesn't matter to him.
It's like that one reporter asked him, well, aren't you afraid Russia will back out or something like that? And Trump goes, well, couldn't like a bomb fall on your head anytime or something?
Yeah,
like some
right.
jackass comment like, this guy is dangerous. He loves Putin. He loves dictators. He's on Putin's side. Putin has shit on him, and that's why he and other Republicans, I shouldn't call them Republicans, MAGAs, you know, the cult, they're afraid to say anything. And Lindsey Graham, oh my gosh, that guy's an idiot. But what exactly did, Zelensky say that made Vance so dramatic and acting like a middle school girl? He acted like a middle school girl.
JD was kind of thumping his chest saying how we're going to solve this problem because we're going to bring American diplomacy to the scene here, like that's never happened before. And Zelensky kind of pushed back on him and said, what do you mean diplomacy? Putin doesn't care about diplomacy. It doesn't matter if we sign something with him, he'll just break it. Yeah. So we need to have some kind of security guarantee. And then Vance acted like he was upset by that Zelensky was saying that Russia will break any agreement that they have and that American diplomacy doesn't mean shit to him, which is probably true. And then for whatever reason, JD started off on this thing, well, why haven't you thanked us? Well, I think he has thanked us.
Yeah,
I think many people from Ukraine have thanked the American people, so I don't understand why he had to try to force him to say thank you in front of the cameras. But regardless, then Trump got upset, and Trump was acting like, the father that sits in the corner and doesn't pay attention for a half hour while his kids are jacking off, and then comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, you kids settle down, damn it, everybody, and then he gets all over upset. So then Trump got really upset. And then they got on this whole kick where they were saying he was disrespectful. And honestly, I didn't think that was the case.
Exactly. Thank you for.
I didn't think Zelensky was disrespectful at all.
Thank you
but,
for doing that. Yeah.
But now what I will say is I do understand what Trump is doing, because if you have a fight between two people, one person is probably in a better position to win than the other. Well, you don't negotiate with the loser. You have to get the bigger guy, the bully, to stop. So that's why he's focusing more on Putin. He's going to Putin and saying, hey, look, you have to stop this. What's it going to take? Putin is probably trying to set the terms.
Why doesn't he publicly call out for Putin to bow out of Ukraine? He needs to do that. He needs to act tough. Why can't he talk to Putin the way he talked to Zelensky? I know why. Because Putin owns Trump. Trump is a Russian asset, and if we can't see that, then we're blind.
Trump is taking the approach. He's taking the approach. I mean, you don't want to badmouth somebody nationally in front of the press if you're trying to negotiate the end to a war. I mean, that doesn't do you any good. I mean, if the idea is it would make every Democrat in the country happy if he went out to the camera right now and said, Putin is a bad guy. He's a dictator, right? And then the Democrats would be like, yes, thank you. Finally, Trump gave in. Then he's going to turn around and pick up the phone and say, hey, Vlad, we got to talk about this. And Vlad's going to be like, screw you, dude. You just called me a dictator to the whole world. No, I'm not interested in talking to you now.
I don't think he's okay. I don't think Trump wants peace in this. I think that's a bunch of bullshit when he says he wants people to stop dying and he wants peace. He loves to see destruction and entertainment. And this Ukraine thing is also taking away a lot of attention on all the other shit that he and Elon are doing that a lot of us don't know about. That is so, all these so-called Social Security payments going to 150-year-olds in which there's no proof of it. Yes, are there problems? Yes, but this Ukraine thing is a distraction. But let me tell you something, and this might surprise you or anyone listening. I'm fine with stopping Ukraine aid. What I am not fine with is Trump bowing down to a dictator and being okay with what a dictator is doing. That is not how it's supposed to be in America. We've had Republicans and Democrats in the past speak out against dictatorship. Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Obama. It's what you do. Reagan is rolling in his grave right now. Like, he is like saying, holy shit. What is going on with the Republican Party? It's ruined. It's not what it was, back in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that right there, and Trump, Trump knows what he's doing. Like, I think, yes, stop the aid, encourage people to donate if they're very if they're very passionate about helping Ukraine. People can donate or send water or send food. But as far as our tax dollars going towards other countries, I think needs to stop. I don't like all that spending. So
yeah.
So I'm fine with freezing aid, but I would encourage people to send aid to Ukraine and to help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just think that I think Trump does want to stop this because I think he's a pragmatist and I think he realizes that this doesn't benefit anybody in the long run. So I do think he really wants to put an end to it. But you heard Zelensky.
It benefits him with Russia.
Yeah, but just the other day, to some outlet in Europe, Zelensky said that this war could go on for many years and the peace process hasn't even begun. So, I mean, you kind of do have a situation with Zelensky. It's like, what is he thinking? He doesn't have the people. He doesn't have the back. He's already spent $200 billion of our money. I don't know how much of Europe's, but he is kind of going on this thing like, well, I'm the popular guy and I'm the little guy that's defending myself and people feel bad for me. So I'm like the new cause celebrity charity. And the whole world is going to just keep giving me money, and we're going to fight if it takes the next 35 years until we beat Russia. And no, that's not what anybody's saying. Let's stop it now. I mean, they're already running out of people. So is Russia. Russia's running out of people.
Yeah.
Now they're sending North Koreans over to die. So,
well,
I mean, you got to stop this thing.
What do you think about it? And I know we only have a few minutes left. What do you think about President Trump during that Oval Office meeting with Zelensky? He at times, made Putin out to seem like the victim. Oh, well, Putin's been through plenty of stuff too, the Russian hoax and this. And
I didn't get that, to be honest. I don't know what he's trying to make it sound like.
Yes,
Putin doesn't give a shit that the American media tried to use him to put Trump in jail. I mean, Trump did kind of make it sound like, oh yeah, Putin went through a lot because they were using him as the bad guy to put me in jail. Putin doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
He could care less. He was probably laughing. He was probably like, wow, these Democrats are pretty smart. Look at what they came up with. They're trying to make Donald out like he's a KGB agent.
It would have a strong effect if Donald Trump tonight said, Vladimir Putin, you need to stop this attack on Ukraine. You need to pull out. This is not good for anyone. This is not good for Ukraine. You've killed a lot of innocent human lives. You've bombed a children's hospital and killed many people. What would be so bad about saying that? It would show that we have a leader who has balls, and Donald Trump doesn't have balls.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So Joe Biden said all those things, right? Joe Biden said he was a dictator, said he was a killer, said he was a murderer. Joe Biden said everything the Democrats wanted to hear. What effect did that have on the war?
Well,
none.
It
didn't move the ball forward. It's not like Putin came forward and said, oh man, Joe Biden's calling me really bad names.
Because Biden and Putin were not friends. At least Putin has that stronger relationship with Trump because they're both, in my opinion, bad people. So, I mean, yeah, this is just, but this is also a distraction for how the economy's gonna screw up with these tariffs and
see, no, I don't agree with that. I think it's still a negotiating tactic, and some of these people, we do have to correct the situation with the trade imbalance. I mean, some of these countries are really upset. You look at Canada, how Justin Trudeau just gave that speech. That's what you say. If I let you take advantage of me for 35 years and then I speak up and try to say something for myself, you're going to be upset because you're like, hey, I don't understand what the deal is. I've been taking advantage of you for 35 years and you never said shit about it. Why all of a sudden now are you acting like I got to do something right?
But back in Trump's first term, he signed a trade deal with Canada and Mexico.
Yes.
Back in his first term, and now he's criticizing it. The guy is crazy. And I know time is almost up, it's good that you as a Trump supporter could see what happened on Friday was awful.
I wish they would have negotiated behind closed doors. The American people don't need to see them fighting like a bunch of idiots, But someone's got to talk some sense into Zelensky.
That the American people saw what phonies Vance is and Trump is, and how it's really not Trump doesn't want peace. However, I am fine with stopping aid to other countries.
Yeah.
But vocally, Trump should say, like I said, Putin, bow out of this. Stop what you're doing. At least if he did that and said, stop killing innocent people, maybe Americans would have a little more respect for Trump. But I mean, he's
Well, Zelensky's going to have to come to the table and negotiate because Russia can do this way longer than Zelensky can. And Zelensky's acting like, well, I can go on as long as the Americans are willing to keep their printing press rolling. So what are we at now? 36 trillion? Should we go up to 50? How many trillion should we give Zelensky till he can win this war?
I agree with you on that. Yeah, but
I mean,
well, we agree on something there to end it. It's about 15 minutes now. So
all right.
thank you. Good.
All right, see ya.
Okay.
Bye.